Hi friends, welcome to this week's video. Of course, it is a Tuesday. This video should have come out yesterday on Monday, but as usual these days I am running behind. So thank you for your patience and understanding, and happy Veganuary. This is the last week of Veganuary. I'm sharing a ginger and carrot soup with you. I actually started out this year sharing a soup, but it's been so cold that I have been making quite a lot of soup lately. This is a very simple one. We're going to start out with some onion, ginger, garlic, and of course 3 or maybe like 4 carrots depending on the size. And the way that I'm making this soup is pretty much the way that you can make any soup. I guess you'll see what I mean as I go along. So for the ginger, I am using a slightly larger piece than usual. Sometimes I might use a 1-inch piece. Here I'm using a 1.5-inch piece, just so that the ginger is really nice and prominent in the flavor profile. And I'm prepping all of my ingredients here, making sure to keep my food scraps for the green bin. None of the chopping that I'm doing is too neat. Everything is going to be kind of a rough chop. The only thing that I'm trying to make sure of is that the carrot pieces aren't too large. The soup is going to cook a little bit. It's also going to boil for about 20 minutes, but I don't want really large chunks of carrot. I'm just trying to keep them, close to the same size. This soup is going to cook in a large stock pot. I'm working in my cousin's kitchen today, and I always do enjoy cooking in her kitchen. However, I did make sure to bring my own knife from home. It's a knife that Pranav actually gave me for my birthday last year. Coming back to the chopping though, you can see nothing is too clean or too perfect. I'm roughly chopping pretty much all of the ingredients. Something I still haven't figured out in my cousin's kitchen though is my preferred lighting. There is an above stove light, and when you turn it on, things are really orange. When you turn it off, things are kind of gloomy. I went back and forth on this a lot. In the end, I think I just left it on. So in my giant stock pot here, I have some oil, I'm adding onion, and I'm adding some salt and pepper right away. I recently read in a cookbook that every time you add something to the pot, you should season. Is this true? Is this something that you do? Let me know in the comments down below. I feel like I only learned this very recently. I'm also adding at this time the garlic and ginger. I am not seasoning here. I'm just hoping that whatever seasoning I added to the onion is also enough for the garlic and ginger. And then comes the carrot. I am going to combine these ingredients and cook them down a little bit, and I am going to season the carrots just a touch. Now at this point, you can pick your favorite herb or your favorite spice and simply add it. I opted to go for something random. I opened up the spice rack here, found some hot Jamaican style curry powder, and added it to the carrots. Just continuing to cook things here. If it starts to dry out a little bit, you could add a splash of water, but we're actually going to add the broth now. There was no vegetable broth, like fresh vegetable broth, so I found this better than bouillon, quickly checked the label, struggled to open it, and then once I got it open, this is what I used to create my vegetable stock. If you don't have vegetable stock, I don't think that's the worst thing. You can use water. My measurement is usually to fill it up until the ingredients that you're cooking are just covered. That tends to be enough in most cases. Then you bring this up to a boil and let it simmer for 20 minutes. And if you were substituting something in place of carrots, I feel like this would probably work just as well for that. This is my cousin's spice cupboard. It's full to capacity. I love poking around in here. I usually find something that I've never heard of before, which is always very exciting. Coming back to the soup, after simmering for 20 minutes, it's time to blend it up. I'm using an immersion blender, but if you don't have an immersion blender, you can let this cool down a little bit, blend it in a traditional blender, and then reintroduce it to the pot to warm it up. Very near the end here, friends, it's time to add a creamy element. For this, we are going to use coconut cream, not coconut milk, which is a little bit lighter. Of course, you can add any type of plant-based creamer that you have. And I'm going to garnish this with a little bit of olive oil and some toasted seeds. I have here sunflower seeds, but pumpkin seeds would be great as well. And that's it. You have a really delicious, warming ginger and carrot soup to enjoy. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Happy Veganuary, and I will see you again next week. I have lots of house updates for you.